This conference will now be recorded.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the HCEDC Type B meeting for Wednesday, September 25th, 2024 at 6 p.m. We do have a quorum present. Item number 2, citizens' participations and comments. Do we have anyone in the chamber or anyone online that would like to make any comment?
No one is online.
Okay, thank you. Item number 3, items of community interest. Haslet is hiring position for city secretary, court clerk, administrative assistant, park and grounds crew leader, and part-time library assistants. Please visit the Haslet website under employment opportunities to apply. Item 3.2, movie in the park. On Friday, September 27th, 2024, Kung Fu Panda 4 at Nance Field. There'll be food trucks there open at 6:30, and the movie starts at dark. Item number 3.3, National Night Out, Tuesday, October 1st, 2024, between 6 and 8 p.m. at the Haslet Community Park. It's a free annual community building event which promotes police and fire partnerships and neighborhood camaraderie. Item number 4, administers statement of officer oath to the office and appointed and reappointed members. Tonight we have Patricia Parker to restate her oath. Thank you, Patricia, for your service. Place 6, Frank Gatto, and Place 9, Laura Sandra Lauderoff, will need to be moved to the following next agenda in October, Vista, if you'll make note of that, and we'll do their oath at that point in time. Okay, item number 5, the consent agenda. We have before us the HCEDC Type B, August 21st, 2024 minutes. We have our special meeting for the HCEDC Type B Board from September the 4th, 2024 minutes. And we have our August 2024 financial statements for consideration. Does the board have any questions on any of these documents? Okay, if there are no questions, do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, I'll call for a vote. Those in favor? Okay, it's unanimous. Okay, item number 6, Economic Development Report. Mr. Schwanke, can you help us out with that?
Yes, Ms. Schwartz and members of the board, there's just one thing that I just want to mention that's on the report, and that is that we still, on a pretty regular basis, get requests for information on the I-35 West corridor, and so we respond to those accordingly. That's it.
Any questions for Mr. Schwanke? Thank you. Okay, item 6.2, our lease income report. Looks like we're up to date with our payment of September. Any questions by anyone on this? If not, we'll go on to item number 6.3, an update on the business directory. And Laura's not here tonight, but I believe the website has been set up. Okay. Yes, Mr. Halsey, Gayer? I would like that to be the president and the vice president of the board, and as that currently stands, that would be myself and Patricia.
Okay, very good.
But as a process, the president and the vice president.
Missed it, you make note. Outlook just by using your browser. And we have the instructions, and in the instructions, there's actually some YouTube video on how to do it, to walk you through it. The other, that's one option. The second option is if you do not have Outlook installed on your computer or tablet, there's instructions on how to do that, to install it and utilize it and set it up. If you already have Outlook, is how to set up that account. All right, aside from that, the process will be, it gets sent to you, only you. And we'll need the feedback, we being Vista Filling Mill, as to they're in the jurisdiction or they're not. And really, that's your job to check it. And you just send Vista Filling Mill a notice, okay, this applicant is approved to be listed in the business directory. She will list it and send you a message back that that's done so. Then one of the two will notify the applicant, because that's in those instructions online, that they will be notified, and also that they are required to verify the listing itself. Is that it?
It pulled up on the second track.
Okay, and type in 101 Main Street. And you can see, it'll come up and you can just select the rest of it. Boom, there it is. You back out and you can see the address relative to the boundaries. You type something outside that city limits, it will show that same information. Now, all the addresses outside, addresses outside of the jurisdiction, say off to the west, the printed address still show up as Haslet. Don't go by that. You have to physically look and see where that entity is in relation to our jurisdiction. Any questions on that?
No, I think he's trying to do an example outside like he just did, so that's perfectly fine.
Okay. But you show it still has a Haslet address. That's the U.S. Postal System
Right.
address. But you have to actually look at the location relative to the boundaries.
Because that works the other way. We have Fort Worth addresses in our city limits also. All the stuff off of Westport's Fort Worth address.
So you got your map, you got your address. We've got a little bit to do with regard to the presentation of the website, but I believe you're there.
Okay, great. That looks good. One of the things I think we talked about, Mr. Mayor, was how we advertise that this now is in place and is a tool for our companies within Haslet, as by posting it on the Haslet Flash website, and also printing some information in the water bill. Is there any other suggestions that you have that we can advertise? I think word of mouth. If we've missed anyone that wants to be on this directory, we went through in the last couple of months updating all the businesses And right now, it looks like we're pretty good to go.
Can I ask a question? When you have a new business come in, and they fill out the paperwork, the certification to open a store in the city of Haslet, they have to come physically in the office and sign a paperwork and do their,
Or they do it online.
okay, so they don't have to physically come in?
They have to fill out the paperwork. It's generally through, not in City Hall, it would be through Building Services Department.
Okay.
It's almost exclusively online now.
Is it? Okay, I was just trying to think if they came in at the end, we could have a little packet for them, telling them about the business directory.
To give them, that would be fine.
Okay. I didn't know if,
We don't have a packet to give them.
okay, okay. That's something for us to think
You know,
about.
and I say design it, what's the content of the package?
Yeah.
And what's the message?
Just advertising the business directory.
Okay, well, send us some notes on
Okay.
Yeah, it can be something as simple as just a one-page, hey, we have this process you can sign up for, and as they come in and get their business
that.
license,
If someone here will write it up, we'll type it up.
good, we'll design it.
Yes.
That, I mean, at least give them awareness that it's available, and it's a way for them to advertise their business.
Very good.
Okay, good suggestion. Any other comments? No? Okay, great. Okay, moving down to 6.4, discuss the tennis court process. Right now, where we are at is we have been informed that according to the HCEDC process, because the tennis court bench project is outside of the HCEDC bylaws, section 4. Article 4, section 4.05, that we need to publish a notice of public hearing on the project. Then we need to hold the public hearing. So the notice of the public hearing is actually going to be posted, I understand, this Friday in the newspaper.
Excuse me. First thing you have to do is adopt a resolution.
We already did.
A resolution?
Oh, no.
You did a resolution last meeting or at your special meeting to sell property.
Oh,
This
okay.
resolution will be very similar.
Okay. Okay, so our first process is to adopt a resolution. So we'll be preparing that for our next meeting. And then we understand that the resolution, we can publish a public hearing about the project. And then we'll hold a public hearing on the published date of that, according to Local Government Code 505.159. And the resolution will then be submitted to the city for placing on City Council's next meeting. And then we'll go before the City Council and ask for their approval for the resolution. And then upon their approval, the HCEDC then will approve the funds to actually purchase the item in accordance with Government Code 505.160. So this process is going to take about 60 days, potentially 90 days. Unfortunately, we thought we had things in order, but come to find out, the process is lengthening out, so.
Is there a way that we can have the public hearing at our regular meeting, or does it have to be a separate event?
You can have it in your regular meeting. It's an agenda item that's listed.
Okay, thank you.
So can we open it and close it in the same meeting? In other
Yes.
words, what's the 60 days for?
The 60 days is after you have the public meeting, a 60-day calendar starts. And that 60-day calendar is to give the public, if they disagree with the expenditure of this money, the local government code states that if 10% of the registered voters in Haslet, Texas submit a petition to have an election on this item, then we must do so. So that 60-day period is to give the citizenry opportunity to review and submit a petition if they desire.
So we hold the public hearing on our next meeting, which is October 23rd, and then we wait 60 days, so it would be November, December. So we then take it up on our next meeting on January?
I would suggest that at your next meeting, that you, of course, your attorney will write the resolution for you, and there will be information. I would urge you.
That mic went out, I'm sorry.
Was it out, or
It's not working.
that's not working? Oh, okay. In the HCEDC bylaws, and that's why we put the reference numbers in there, there's instructions in there and what that resolution must contain. As each of you should have a copy of those bylaws that's been furnished. All right, read those bylaws, read those sections particularly, as well as the local government code, but have your attorney will guide you through that. And have that resolution item, so your first agenda item or somewhere in there in the lineup can be that a resolution.
So my understanding is we'd have to put it as a resolution next meeting, and then pass the resolution, then put a public notice of hearing for the following meeting. Because we have to have the resolution in place.
Or you
before
can
the-
have a special meeting. You don't need to wait a month.
As long as we publish, what type of notice do we have to have between the resolution being passed in this room and the public hearing? Is there a time discrepancy there that we have to publish it in?
The only time that you would need is there's a 72-hour requirement when you post an agenda item to give 72 hours before that meeting occurs.
That's what I was asking, yes.
That's it.
Thank you.
Okay, so we could have the resolutions on our meeting of October 23rd. If we so desire, we can call a special meeting the following week and open a public hearing, and then 60 days from there.
As long as it's published.
And it would have to be a special meeting, but
And a
public.
meeting held on the date that's published. So if you were to hold a special meeting, is ensure that you got a quorum that can attend the special meeting.
Correct.
Yes, ma'am.
Obviously, because I don't know that we have to take a vote, but we just need a quorum.
Correct. There is no vote.
Okay.
I mean, that one item can be purely for a public hearing. You make no vote. There's no discussion. There's no action. It's
Got it.
purely a public hearing.
Okay, and then 30 days after the special meeting, we can take it up again.
60 days
Or, I'm sorry,
after,
60 days.
after the public hearing.
Correct, correct. And then we get on the city council's agenda.
No, actually, after you adopt that resolution, submit it to the city. We'll put it on a city council agenda.
Oh, so that goes
They can approve it or disapprove it.
before our public hearing?
That's correct.
Okay,
So they can approve it or disapprove it. But like item 6 says, upon approval by the city council, the HCEDC may expend approved funds for the project after the 60 days have passed and no petition has been submitted. So you don't need to wait after 60 days to get it on the council agenda. The important thing is adopt the resolution and submit it to the city council, or submit it to the city to put on the city council agenda. That's your important, those are 2 steps. That's independent. Those 2 action items are independent of actually publishing the public hearing date.
Okay, so they're not date sequential.
They're not sequential.
Okay,
What is sequential is you adopting a resolution and then going to the city council. The public hearing publish in the paper, and the date you have is independent of the city council hearing.
If someone submits a petition after it's passed through the city council, then we can't.
If someone submits a petition, even though the city council approves it, if someone submits a petition and meets the criteria of the petition, then it's, calling for a vote, then this must be placed on a November or May election. I don't think you'll get a petition. It would require 10% of the registered voters. Let's say there are 2,000 registered voters in the city of Haslet. They would need to collect 200 of them, a minimum of 10%. The size of this project, I don't know, $6,000. I don't think anyone's going to do that. So don't anxious about that.
If they do, can we make a rule that they're nominated to serve on this board for at least 2 years after their petition is done? We'll know how civic-minded they are at that point.
So, but technically, if they submit it, even though the city, you adopt the resolution, you adopt this project, and the city council approve it, that petition takes precedence. If no petition is submitted within that 60-day period, then it's over. Then you get to go do the project.
okay, any other questions?
But I please urge each one of you, read those sections in the local government code as well as in your bylaws. It's good information. That's your working information. What do they call it? Standard operating procedures.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right. If no other questions, then we'll move down to item number 7, which is discuss, consider, and act on our properties. And we'll actually take that into our executive session. So I will close the open meeting at 6:41, and we'll move into executive session. Thank you.
Vista will be joining you in executive sessions to take minutes. And thank you very much, and your permission, I'll excuse myself. Thank you.
Okay, I would like to open up the open meeting at 7:29. We have no items to consider out of executive session. So item number 10, future agenda items. We made mention that we need to swear in two folks on our next meeting, the oath of office. Other than that, do we have any other future agenda items?
Do you have any other update or anything on the website for the business directory? Would there need to be a follow-on?
I don't think so. Okay, anything else?
We talked about the potential dog park.
No, none of that. Anything else? All right, I call the meeting adjourned at 7:30.
This conference is no longer being recorded.